Hey there, happy Thanksgiving week, everybody. So thanks to the winner of the poll, which was for cranberry and turkey ice cream, not only have I been demoted from the adult table, I've been demoted from the kids table as well, and now I'm eating on the floor in the living room. For the cranberry portion, we're going to make Alton Brown's cranberry dipping sauce. This is something that I have made for a long time now. I love turkey and cranberry, but I'm really the only one in the family that does. So I've gotten to make this the way I like to make it. Starting with a 12-ounce bag of frozen cranberries, we have the zest of about half of an orange and about a cup of orange juice. The recipe calls for ginger ale, but I'm using 7-Up because that's what I have. We want about a cup and a half, which is perfect because this is a 12-ounce can. A quarter cup of brown sugar, a nice heavy pinch of salt, and a couple of tablespoons of maple syrup. So we'll bring that up over medium heat and then we'll take it down to a simmer. We're basically making stewed cranberries. And what is it that Groucho Marx says about stewed cranberries?
And east is east and west is west. And if you take cranberries and stew them like applesauce, it tastes much more like prunes than rhubarb does. Now you tell me what you know.
So we'll just get all this stirred in together. Alright, here's my favorite part. This is when the cranberries start to pop. And also, look at all the cute little ring light reflections on those. It is important to not walk away right now, because as those cranberries are bursting, you can definitely run into a boil over, and that's not fun to clean up. So just until we get to the boil, and once we're at a boil, it should pretty much be broken down. You won't have that foamy top. And that is a boil, so let's take it down to a simmer. And we want to reduce this to at least half. I might go a little bit further since we will be mixing it with some cream and milk, and I really want that flavor to be nicely concentrated. So we're going to simmer this. It'll probably take 45 minutes. It's been close to an hour. Our cranberries are pretty well broken down. We've reduced by roughly half. You can see at this is where it started. We're down to here. So that flavor should be nicely concentrated. Since we are doing two different styles with this ice cream, I am going to pour off about half of it right now. So the half that I poured off, I'm going to use for the cranberry flavored ice cream. This half is for the turkey ice cream with cranberry. So I want it to be a little bit thicker than it is now, so I'm going to add a tablespoon and a half of cornstarch. And we can bring that up to a boil, stirring continuously. And as we get up to a boil, that cornstarch will, the starches will begin to sort of absorb the liquid and bloom, and we should end up with a nice, thick, sort of a jelly consistency. Something that'll really hold up to either being swirled through the turkey ice cream or drizzled on top. I haven't quite decided yet. Now, if I had been thinking, I would have made a cornstarch slurry instead of just dumping it straight in like a dork, because we could end up with some clumps in here. And we'll break out the whisk so that we can try and work out as much of that as we can. Okay, so that is starting to boil. So at this point we will cook for 1 more minute, stirring continuously. Okay, and kill the heat. And we'll get this into its own container. And as this cools, it will thicken, so we will go ahead and chuck it in the fridge with the rest of the cranberry sauce. So I struggled a little bit trying to figure out how I would do turkey in the cranberry ice cream, but fortunately, Amber's beyond brilliant idea to do a candied turkey bacon, I think will be perfect. So I just have some turkey bacon and I'm dredging it through some maple syrup, and then sort of pressing and sprinkling on some of this brown sugar, and then onto a baking sheet. And then we'll throw that in the oven for about 25 minutes, 30 minutes. We'll just watch it carefully. I think it'll take at least 20 minutes at 325. Ooh. Well, that looks really nice. So what about the turkey flavored ice cream? So let's start with half a cup of whole milk and 1 cup of heavy cream. I'm going with a small batch on this. I'm gonna go a little bit sweeter for a half batch and go with half cup sugar. And here's where I'm going to lose you, because I have some roasted turkey, some of which ended up on the stove. But I am tearing this up into the ice cream, and we'll just bring that up over medium heat. We'll bring that up just to a simmer. Okay, I've got just a few slight bubbles there, so we're on the verge of simmering. I'm going to remove my spatula, kill the heat, and put a lid on, and we're going to let that turkey steep in the milk. I don't know, that sounds disgusting. We're gonna let it steep in the milk for about 20 to 30 minutes. Okay, so that's been 20-ish minutes, and you can see that we have a sort of a golden color here from the turkey that has infused into the milk. I'm gonna go strain this off screen because my stove's a little busy right now. So we have our strained turkey milk mixture, and to help to offset some of that saltiness, I think we're gonna make this a custard. So this is still warm, it's not hot. So I'm gonna pour some of it in with the eggs, and we'll get those 3 egg yolks tempered in here. I should have beaten them beforehand, and we'll go ahead and pour this back into the milk. And again, over low-medium heat, we will just continue to cook this until we get to that nappe consistency. All right, that's about 3 minutes, and it looks like it's good. That is strained. We'll go ahead and put a lid on it and put it in the fridge to age and chill. Let's get this turkey juice into the ice creaminator. It's extremely thick as I'm pouring it in. We'll go ahead and churn that. So this turkey ice cream is pretty much frozen, so I'm going to just drizzle in some of our cranberry jelly. I don't want to spin it too long. I kind of want it to swirl more than mix in, so I think that's enough. And then we'll just give it about 30 seconds or 10 seconds, and we'll go ahead and kill it. And let's get this scooped out. And we'll throw our lid, T with C for turkey with cranberry. So our cranberry ice cream with turkey, I'm going to make very similarly to the pomegranate sherbet that I made. If you go back to the beginning of this channel, it was one of the first ice creams that I made. It's also very popular. So we start with 2 cups of our cranberry sauce, 2/3 of a cup of sugar, a little pinch of salt, go with a little squeeze of our vanilla bean paste. Go ahead and blend that well to dissolve all the sugars. Then we add a cup of heavy cream. Watch all the colors blend. Go ahead and just give that a few quick pulses. And we go ahead and pour that in. And we'll let it churn. Okay, so this is pretty much done. I want to scoop out a couple of just regular cranberry just to try later. We'll go ahead and fire it back up, and we've got some of that candied bacon, about 2½ slices again, and we'll just toss that in and let it mix thoroughly. There's one little piece there. So while I finish up scooping this into a container, since it is Thanksgiving week, I would like to say thank you to all of you for having watched these videos. I'm very thankful. You've helped me in ways that you don't know, and I'm a very shy person, and having made this channel has sort of helped me along in that journey. Anyway, C with T for cranberry with turkey, and we'll chuck this in the freezer. Let's go ahead and give these a taste. So we have the turkey with cranberry and the cranberry with turkey. Okay, so the turkey with cranberry has a nice scoop to it. Go ahead and leave that out there. And the cranberry with turkey is definitely more of a sherbet consistency, so it's a little bit softer. So here's the turkey with cranberry. You can see the cranberry is nicely ribboned throughout. Make sure that my bite has a nice piece of cranberry in there. We'll go ahead and give this a taste. No. No, 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 no. That was a mistake. The turkey does not work well with ice cream. That is pretty disgusting. I was worried it might be salty. It's not salty, but it tastes like turkey, which I guess is what we were going for, but that does not work well for ice cream. I'm hoping that the cranberry with turkey helps to make up for some of that. So again, get a nice pink color in there. You can make sure that we get a bite with the turkey bacon. So you can kind of see in that little crack is the turkey bacon. We'll go ahead and give this a taste. This one is far superior. So the cranberry is the dominant flavor, and then you get just the little bites of some saltiness from the turkey bacon. I do think that just on its own, the cranberry, so here's some just straight up cranberry. Yes, so the cranberry on its own is very good. It is very similar to the pomegranate sherbet, where it's sweet and tangy and just a little bit tart. It's not bitter like cranberries can be. This will probably be a repeat, maybe minus the turkey bacon, but I do think a cranberry sherbet is the winner. So this probably will be my last ice cream video of the year. At this point, for the next 4 to 5 weeks, I transition into cookie and candy mode. Over the last 3 years, I've made toffee, chocolate fudge, peanut butter fudge, maple fudge, cherry fudge, caramels, tablet, which is basically fudge, but you intentionally mess up every step of the way, marshmallows, cinnamon hard candies, tiger butter bark, peppermint bark, Biscoff bark, coffee cookies, white chocolate cherry cookies, Polish kolaches, spritz cookies, sugar cookies, and probably the best cookie you would ever have, a pecan brittle cookie, and probably several others that I've forgotten. I generally make around 15 things per year, and so I'm really looking forward to that. If you're interested in seeing any videos about that, I'd be happy to do that. And if not, well, I understand that as well. Anyway, I hope you have a great rest of your Thanksgiving week, and we'll see you next time. Bye.